Republicans push to make Trump derangement syndrome a mental illness. Have you ever wondered what it would look like if a political party was composed entirely of wannabe influencers? 5 Republican Minnesota state senators set to introduce a bill tomorrow that would classify TDS, which they define as an acute onset of paranoia regarding the presidencies of Donald Trump, as a mental illness, according to state documents. That's cool. This is to try to strip away gun rights. This is to get attention, and if it succeeds, then if this passed, they would be like, oh, wow, and then they would just do whatever they wanted with it. But yeah, it's rage bait. Like, fundamentally, it's rage bait.
Violating, this one will be your legacy, violating the right of free speech of an American citizen. Never mind whether he was president or not.
I remember this guy.
It could be anybody. It could be a homeless person. You don't get to violate people's First Amendment rights, Smith, no matter who the hell you are, or no matter how sick you are with Trump derangement syndrome. And this isn't the first time you've acted like an unethical lawyer. It should be the last.
That clip did not have as much to do with this. Oh my God. That clip did not have as much to do with the subject of the article as I expected. How is Giuliani still alive? What the fuck? I don't know. I saw him in a coffee ad recently. I remember that. That was like 6 months ago. I don't know where he's getting his money from. Have they, like, stopped the legal cases against him?
Republican lawmakers in Minnesota want to, here in the state, add Trump derangement syndrome as an official mental illness.
The bill aims to change our state's definition of mental illness to include a form of criticism of the current president. Hannah Flood joins us from the Live Center with the details on this. Is a bill that's getting national attention. Good morning.
Saying that it is just rage bait is sad. Democrats should be jumping on this stuff to show how much Republicans hate speech. Well, hold on. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. The fact that people should be talking about it and the fact that it's rage bait, those are both the same thing, basically. I agree. But again, at the same time, like, Democrats are just completely incapable. Like, it's the thing, again, I've said this before, the thing that bothers me is the fact that we're losing to such a poorly coordinated effort. There are hints of brilliance in what the Republicans have done with their, like, complete control over media, but the fact that the party is so undisciplined that they keep teeing up these obvious lines of attack for the opposition, but nothing is going to be done about it, you know?
Yeah, good morning. This bill defines the Trump derangement syndrome as an acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal persons that is in reaction to the policies and presidencies of Donald J. Trump. Now, this bill lists symptoms as verbal hostility towards President Trump and overt acts of aggression and violence toward supporters. Currently, mental illness is defined as a disorder or other issue that is included in a diagnostic codes list. While it's frequently used by President Donald Trump and his supporters, Trump derangement syndrome is not recognized as a mental diagnosis.
I love our media so much, man. Thank you. Thank you for this coverage of that. This is the stuff that I needed to know. Thank you. Thank you. Scheduled to be introduced and read before the Minnesota Senate Health and Human Services Committee. Text the bill has been available online since Thursday. Incorporating the state's legal definition through amended statutes regarding mental illness. Democrats and others contend TDS is not a legitimate condition. What people are saying. Ed Krasenstein, anti-Trump influencer with 1 million followers on X, formerly Twitter, wrote Sunday, I love journalism, man. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt wrote on X in February, Trump derangement syndrome is causing Democrats and the media to oppose Trump's common sense efforts to cut billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse from the federal government. They can't say this isn't even in response to the thing in Minnesota. This is just Carolyn Leavitt talking about and using the term Trump derangement syndrome. I know this is a long shot because it's rage bait that shouldn't pass, but wasn't RFK saying people with mental illness would be put in camps or something? That's not likely to happen either. It's not about you. Look, it's like the material conditions thing, okay? You have to understand the driving force behind why stuff like this is being done. In this case, it's because the Republican Party is composed entirely of wannabe influencers. That's why all of them act like attention-hogging celebrities all the time. That's why people like Nancy Mace exist, or Marjorie Taylor Greene, or Lauren Boebert. That's why this is happening. That's why the Texas bill on, like, the Furry Act, and the guy who was advocating for it was, like, quote tweeting furries on Twitter and saying, like, we need this degeneracy out of schools. It's not about doing anything. It's about getting a shot to talk on Fox News so you can make money off of it. That's it. Most of these politicians, especially at the state level, aren't really that wealthy. They're looking to get their big break by going on Fox News so they can be like Riley Gaines, a person who's now a millionaire, entirely off of being bad at whatever the fuck she was doing, swimming, I don't fucking remember, you know? It's like a free pass. Now, obviously, a side effect of this behavior might occasionally mean a law actually gets passed sometimes. And if the Democrats were competent, this would actually be really politically disadvantageous behavior because this shit is obviously fucking psycho. Like, if the Democrats were even remotely mobilized and politically effective, they could be tearing into Republicans over this. But obviously they're not. So in the absence of meaningful opposition, Republicans basically get to do whatever they want. Which is why they all act like these, like divas, you know? I'm worried they use this to stop lefties from buying guns. No, I applaud your consistency in applying the logic. I don't think you're wrong necessarily, but I just don't think that, I don't think it's that serious. Or maybe I should say, I don't think it goes that far. I think you're putting too much thought into it, you know? It's just another attention grab. So they're saying things for clout? Yes, yeah. Or they're doing things for clout in this case. Is it possible it turns into more than that? Sure, but you know. Vaush is doing nothing happens when all those people got really quiet recently. I'm not doing nothing happens. I'm telling you that Republicans are grifters and attention seekers who know that they can get a big career break if they say something audacious enough to get them on Fox News. Remember Trump's birthday should be a federal holiday? What happened to that guy? He got his little like gamut of attention. Clearly it didn't work out though. Not because the bill didn't pass, mind you, but because it didn't turn into like a big media career. You know? You get me. A competent Democratic Party, by the way, would be giving like essentially like a non-stop wall of audacious news cycles about the moral failure of the opposition. I mean, God, fucking, have you seen a single Democratic politician call out the fact that one of another person associated with Trump was found to be a pedophile recently? That, what was he, a clergyman, a minister, a bishop? I don't remember which one he was. None. I haven't seen any of that. Like, literally none. It's insane. Like, Democrats were more willing to go after their own over less. Hillary Clinton went after Barack Obama because Barack Obama's pastor was said some stuff that is radical to you if you're dumb or something. I don't know. Like Hillary Clinton was race baiting over Barack Obama's radical pastor. Meanwhile, Al Franken, thank you. Meanwhile, like everyone around Trump is a pedophile and Democrats won't talk about it, like at all. Speaking of sex abusers and their association with Trump's White House.
Hey, Connor, first of all, did you get into some time with President Trump? And also, I know there's some Irish immigrants in the U.S. without status. What do you think should happen to them?
The Irish immigrants?
There's some Irish immigrants.
Because he's Irish. Because we can do identity politics as long as it's for white people.
Recent Irish immigrants without status.
Are we taking questions?
Taking over the podium.
Ireland and America.
This is identity politics, by the way. Like, this isn't any different from if everyone showed up during Black History Month in like Kenta cloth or whatever, which of course the Trump administration would call so many things. So many things. Everything but the N-word, which is the only thing they'd be thinking. But this is fine.
Siblings. We consider America our big sibling. So it's important for Ireland to have a, you know, be a peaceful, happy, prosperous country for the 40 million Irish Americans to have a place to visit, to come back to their home. So we wish for our relationship with the United States to continue, and we wish to be taken.
It is genuinely insane, though, that they're getting this rapist piece of shit up here to act as like an ambassador from Ireland or something. Like, what is he here for? Irish person here, the entire country despised McGregor. He was recently found guilty for rape. I know that. Thank you, the Irish soak. The reason he's here, of course, is because he's like a right-wing guy. And the reason he's a right-wing guy is because he's a rapist. People sometimes, I think they make the mistake of assuming that, like, people who are rapists are right-wing, or like they become right-wing, like they're rapists and that leads them down the right wing. Wait, I'm sorry, I mixed this up. Go back, rewind time. People make the assumption that like right-wingers become rapists because they're right-wingers. I think it's the opposite, actually. I think the psychosexual biases that make a person a rapist, and I'm being a little bit like, I'm simplifying a bit there, because like obviously it's a very complicated subject, but I think that like obviously to be a rapist, I think that rape is bad, by the way, to be clear. So I think that in order to be that kind of person, you've got to have something going on in your head like psychosexually. I think that there's like a bias there, a predilection, negative incentives, and I think that pushes people to the right. you know? Because if you're a rapist, who's cool with you but the right? If you're like a celebrity and you're known to be a rapist, the right's fine with you. If anything, they like you more. Like, they will defend you more because defending you now is tantamount to defending rape, which they love. Look at Tate. Look at Musk, who pivoted to the right in response to him sexually harassing an employee. Look at Elon. Sorry, not Elon Musk. Donald Trump. Look at his association with Epstein. Look at all of them. All of them. Hegseth. The Beavis and Butthead guy. Literally, it's like all of them. Matt Gaetz, thank you. It's hard to keep all the rapists in my head. It's quite a bit of them in the party. Didn't Dennis Prager literally argue to make marital rape illegal? Or, sorry, legal, yes. Yes, he did, yeah. And that's a common argument, by the way, for a lot of right-wingers, you know? Like I said, I've said so many times, fascism is about sexual insecurity at its root. You have people who have this deep-seated sexual insecurity, and the right is the side with the politics that are amenable to that bias. I think that people will shift their entire worldview to accommodate their feeling okay about themselves despite being a rapist, you know? I don't think it's the other way around for the most part. I don't think people get into fascist politics and then as a consequence of it develop that sexual insecurity. I think that it's the other way around in almost all cases. And you have to like distort so much of your understanding of the world in order to like fit that in your head.
Taken care of by the big bro.
Russell Brand,
the United
yeah.
States should look after its little bro.
Better guest to have with us on St. Patrick's Day.
You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland. And it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know,
again, like the literal only reason that he's here is because he's UFC, right? He's UFC, not MMA, right? He's UFC. And also a rapist. Also, he dresses astoundingly poorly. I don't think I've ever seen an athlete dress as poorly as him consistently. RPM is a Zionist piece of shit, but his response to McGregor was good. Isn't Ireland like pretty good about Israel for the most part? Is Donald collecting rapist fighters? Yeah, him and Tate, they're trying to build an army. Terrifying stuff, really. Derek guy posted about the fit. Ewan McGregor's fit is always bad. It's always been bad. Every time he goes outside, he looks genuinely awful. There's no need to talk about it. Did I say Ewan? Sorry, not Ewan. Conor McGregor. Sorry, I'm racist against Irish people. It's a bit of self-hate in me. My apologies. No, not Ewan McGregor. Ewan is Scottish though, is he not? Well, is McGregor a Scottish or an Irish name? I'm just talking about the last name. It's Scottish? Well, then why the fuck is Conor McGregor Irish? I think he should cut that out then. I think that's very confusing. Celtic name. Okay, well now we're moving the goalposts now, and frankly, I don't think you guys are playing fair, and I don't want to talk about it anymore with you.